You got one short reply, and your brain turned it into a 3-hour investigation. Not because something was wrong, but because your mind has learned. Sometimes it is. I used to check my phone after every conversation, not because I expected a message, because I needed to confirm nothing had gone wrong. If that sounds familiar, this video is for you, because what looks like overthinking is actually your brain doing something it believes is keeping you safe. And once you understand why, it changes everything about how you relate to it. There's a name for this, but the name doesn't really matter. What matters is, you know the feeling. The conversation ended hours ago, but you're still in it, turning it over, weighing the words, replaying the tone. And the harder you try to stop, the louder it gets. That's not a personality flaw, that's a pattern. And patterns have reasons. Because the mind doesn't replay things randomly, it replays them with purpose. Someone's reply was shorter than usual. Your mind flagged it. Did I say something wrong? Was I too much? Not enough? And it becomes a courtroom. Your brain plays prosecutor, defense attorney, and judge, all at once, presenting evidence, cross-examining witnesses, running dramatic reenactments of things you may have said wrong in 2019. And it doesn't stop until it reaches a verdict, which, somehow, is never, "You're fine." Here's what most people miss. This isn't obsession, it's prediction. Your mind isn't punishing you, it's scanning, mapping the future before it arrives. Because if you can predict the painful moment, the rejection, the disappointment, the "we need to talk," you can prepare for it. And preparation, to the nervous system, feels like safety. So every time you ask, "What if they're upset with me?" what you're really asking is, "How do I survive this before it even happens?" Your brain isn't broken. It's trying to protect you, the way it always has. And this kind of protection is exhausting, in ways that are hard to explain. Not like lifting something heavy. It's quiet, constant. It happens underneath every conversation, behind every ordinary moment. You go to dinner with someone, and spend the whole time monitoring. Are they having a good time? Did that joke land? Are they quieter than last time? The dinner happens, you're there, but half of you is already somewhere in the future, quietly bracing for something that may never come. That is the invisible labor, not the thoughts themselves, but the energy spent managing them. Here's the part that took me a long time to see. Overthinking doesn't always look like fear. Sometimes it looks like love. It looks like remembering how someone takes their coffee. It looks like texting first, because you don't want them to feel forgotten. It looks like laughing at exactly the right moment, so no one in the room feels uncomfortable. It looks like going quiet about your own hard day, because someone else in the room seems to need the space more than you do. It looks like sitting with something heavy and deciding not to say it, not because you don't trust them, but because you don't want to become a weight for someone you love. You carry things quietly, so other people don't have to. You adjust yourself before anyone even asks you to. You track the subtle shifts. You notice everything. And the people in your life, they feel cared for, seen, held. But you're exhausted, because you've been doing emotional maintenance for everyone around you, and no one ever taught you that it was okay to stop. You become the person who notices everything, and then has nowhere to put what you noticed. And that person deserves to rest. And the strange part is, your body does not know the difference. It does not know that the dinner was fine, that the message was not passive-aggressive, that nobody is angry with you. It just knows you were tense, and it stayed tense. So you end the night exhausted, not from what happened, but from everything you were quietly prepared for. The body keeps score before the mind even finishes thinking. You've probably felt it. A phone buzzes, and before you even see who it is, your shoulders climb half an inch. Someone's tone shifts, just slightly, and something in your chest tightens, without any thought at all. Your body already decided, this could be something to prepare for. That's not anxiety. That's a nervous system that learned long ago. Stay alert, just in case. Because quiet in your world hasn't always meant safe. So here's something I want you to sit with for a second. What drains you more? What people actually say to you? Or what you think they might mean? Hold that question. Because what I'm about to describe next might explain something you felt for years. Why certain relationships leave you quietly exhausted, even when nothing was ever technically wrong. Overthinking doesn't just cost you sleep. It changes how you show up for the people you love. You start pulling back, not because you don't care, but because caring this much, without knowing where you stand, becomes too much to hold. You go quiet, not because you're cold, but because you're already carrying 3 versions of a conversation that hasn't happened yet. You start staying close enough to be loved, but far enough to feel safe. And the people around you can feel it, not the thoughts. They can't hear those. But the distance, the hesitation, the way you're somehow present, and already halfway gone. And over time, this pattern teaches you something you never meant to learn. That closeness is dangerous. That being open means giving someone more information to hurt you with. So you manage, you curate, you stay 1/2 step removed, not because you're incapable of intimacy, but because you've been burned by the gap between what you felt and what turned out to be real. And the mind, trying to protect you from that gap, starts filling it in advance, every time, just to be safe. That's not a character flaw. That's a learned response to a world that wasn't always predictable. I'm not going to tell you this gets easy. Some nights your mind will still do what it has always done. It will check. It will replay. It will try to protect you from things that may never come. But maybe the first step isn't fixing it. Maybe it's just noticing, oh, my brain is doing the thing again. Not judging it, not fighting it, just seeing it, the way you'd notice a guest who showed up uninvited. You don't have to give them a room. You don't have to ask about their childhood. They're not here to stay. A thought can visit. It doesn't get to move in and redecorate the whole house. Thoughts are not facts. They are not prophecies. They are your nervous system doing its job and then handing the note to you. What you do next, that part is still yours. Tonight, your mind may still get loud. That doesn't mean you failed. It just means a part of you is still trying very hard to keep you safe. Some thoughts are not warnings. Some are just echoes. When does yours get the loudest? I'd genuinely like to know. Leave it below. I read everything. If this felt familiar, you are not alone here. This channel is for people who think deeply, feel quietly, and notice the things most people miss. So if you want more gentle psychology like this, the kind that helps you understand yourself without making you feel broken, stay with us. Subscribe, and come back whenever your mind feels a little too loud. We'll make space for the parts of you that are hard to explain.